Alright, I woke up, as you can just see by my hair, and today's the day. Today's the day that I build my first PC. I'm pretty excited. I'm going to document like the trials and tribulations that I face. Hopefully nothing too bad happens, but if I make any obvious mistakes, don't make fun of me. I'm gonna start with the case. I mean, there are multiple places that we could start, but you know, we'll start here. This is a fairly nice Fantex Eclipse series. I think what I'll do in this video, if I make one, I'll link out all the parts that I have, and y'all can kind of really get a sense of what I'm dealing with. Packaging spare. But yeah, cool case. We're gonna start here, we're gonna unbox it, and get the lay of the land. Here's our tool set today, by the way. You know, not gonna need the hammer, not gonna need the, the wrench or anything like that. But this is what we're gonna be working with. It's got basic kind of screws and, you know, screwdrivers, that kind of thing. Should be all we need. Cut to panic screaming if I need something that's not in here, so wish me luck. Alrighty, just love the look of this thing, like look at that. This is a glass panel. We're gonna wait to kind of peel the stuff off of it, because you know, that's the final step that we're really gonna relish once we get to it. But yeah, this is gonna house all of the parts. What else we got? We got power button up here, 2 USB slots, and this is headphones and microphone. Pretty standard. We'll have more in the back. And yeah, starting place, let's go. I was a little bit scared to do this part. They recommend taking off the front panel too while you're building stuff, and they're just like, pull from the bottom, and I'm like, sure. And see, it's pretty tough, and it got me scared, like, oh, there you go. Just pops right off there. All right, now we get into glorious parts. We're gonna start with the motherboard here. The motherboard, for those who don't know, just is kind of like the central hub for all the parts that you're gonna end up connecting, and part of that, we got the CPU right here. It's gonna be an AMD Ryzen. I decided to go with AMD for this particular build. I kind of decided that early on and decided that I would absolutely not pay attention to any other alternatives, so pick one, go with it, and just close your eyes to the other options. We got my RAM here. Nothing much to say about it. There's 2 sticks of it. They're both 16 gigabytes. Should be pretty good for what I'm trying to do. And then right here we have an SSD, which is going to be the a solid state drive. And essentially SSDs are faster than hard drives, and for this particular build I'm going to be installing Windows and all of my important stuff like that onto the SSD, so we get a bit of extra memory access, you know what I'm talking about. And we're just going to go for it. Nothing much to say about the motherboard here. Obviously going to be gaming a lot. Make sure everything that you get works with what you got. You know, that's always a good tip. So Ryzen there, you know. Gaming motherboard, got some RGBs on it, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Oh man, this thing's gonna light up. Board pulled out here. This is essentially the canvas, right? It's gonna be the canvas that we're building our PC on. Right here, this is where the CPU is gonna get dropped in. Gonna put a big old fan on top of that. Got memory over here that we're gonna plug in, and the graphics card is gonna go in that little slot. Perhaps the tiniest bit of gear we have here, this is the CPU. You know? Got like 1,000,001 cables back there that plug into all these different slots, but you know, this is the brain that's gonna power the whole build, and it's in such a tiny package. It's crazy. The mini fans here is about to get plugged in. Right, baby? Yeah. So this one specifically goes on top of the CPU chip right there. If we flip it over, you'll see like that's a little bit of thermal paste that's kind of perfectly the size of that, and it's gonna squish on in there, keep it cool, and the fan is gonna do its magic. And then we just gotta remember to plug in this. This is one of the first plugs that we'll be doing. That'll go right, where will it go? There, right there, CPU fan. Pretty easy. Gonna pause real quick here. It's getting ahead of myself because I was trying to figure out how to do this part. Taking a little detour, installing the SSD. We got this bad boy in, good for us. We're now doing the SSD, and you kind of put it in at an angle, and then I had to move this nut from here. I had to screw it in there, and I'm gonna push it down right, and then using the tiniest screw in the world, I'm gonna tighten it. Got that screwed in. It was kind of finicky, so, you know, keep these tiny screwdrivers around if you have them, because I definitely have spent the most time so far just getting that tiny screw in. We're now moving to the RAM, and this is also a good gut check area because here are our DDR4 slots, and as you can see, I was like geared up, ready to go on the black slots. I had kind of pushed down these already, which are little catches, right? And I consulted the manual just to double check that I'm on the right path. And they even say right here, DIMM 2 are the things that you should start with. So I was going wrong here. We gotta kind of plug it into the next slot. RAM is in, RAM is secure. Make sure you're plugging into the right DIMM slot there. I found out that it's usually the further ones from the CPU, and if you got two that you're installing, you do, you know, the other one. You know what I'm saying there? You got one there, one there. Yeah, this part was kind of a little bit nerve-wracking. I hadn't done this. You have to like really kind of, you open up these little connector things, right? And then you stick it on in there, and you actually push it until it like closes itself and it does like a clicking sound. So a little bit nerve-wracking, but we're in there now. We're secure. Okay. Lots of finicky screws later, very finicky, but we have officially put our motherboard into the case. And we got our IO shield here installed. You know, pokes out in the back, you can plug stuff in. Here's the moment of truth. Let's see if we can raise it up and it'll stay in place. All right, we're in business. How could we forget? It's freaking graphics card time, baby. Let's go. And here she is. Powerful little piece of hardware. This is gonna run all of our games. It's gonna run, you know, editing work, streaming work. It's gonna do a bit of everything. All right, time jump. Skipping ahead, probably missed about 15 minutes there of me trying to install this power source. So far the most confusing part, but I think I have gotten it right. You slide it in here, try to tilt that a little bit. You wanna point the fan down because there's actually like a little, you know, a vent here that lets the fan go. Otherwise, if you point it up, it just goes up into the system, which is not good. So you point it down, got the back plug out there, and then the most time-consuming thing was just figuring out, or trying to figure out, which, there are quite a few plugs. Some of them are like 24 different cables at a time that you're plugging in, and they go to things like the CPU, the motherboard, fans, all this other stuff. So I think I have gotten what needs to be plugged in there. And we got a messy cable here that we're gonna figure out what to do with. And that's that. That part's in there. We got power routed to it. Now we got ports out here. Can take the clips off them, I guess. They're different, I believe HDMI. What are, yeah, they are. Well, some of them are HDMI. And that's essentially our back port right there. We're getting really close. I want to personally install another fan. I think it should go right about there, and we'll get power going to that. But then we're close, man. Much troubleshooting later. I was worried that I had some cables plugged in wrong, but it turned out I should have followed my gut. I mean, they were right to begin with. There's only kind of one way that you can plug them in, but I had a fear that I had plugged them in backwards. Now we're gonna do this HDD drive. It's 2 terabytes, not bad. And I've already put it into the Fantex sort of holder for it. And if you watch this, we're just gonna kind of slide it right back in there. Clicks back in, and now we gotta hook up some power cables to it. Got this guy installed. Wrapped him around to the motherboard, got the power. I don't know, guys, it might be time to hook up to a monitor, try to turn this guy on. Beautiful monitor, by the way. Beautiful keyboard, HyperX. We got a beautiful mouse. And now, the moment of truth. I'm kind of nervous, actually. Woo! All right, thank you, God. We hit the BIOS. So this is where I do some kind of behind the scenes nonsense. Hopefully not too much, but man, it turned on. It's working so far. Let's go. That's okay. I said that's all right, because look, here we are. Totally clean. Nothing. This is why you build your own PC. Do you see there's no bloat stuff beyond Internet Explorer, basically. Nothing down here that you don't want. No weird security stuff going on. This is clean. This is cheap. This is why I'm doing this. Not gonna lie, this is what I bought a computer for. And with this, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing it to him. I'll just see y'all never, you know. Like, I think I'm done with outside life. I think I have a new computer now, and I think that's all I want to do, so. Dude, let's go. We did it. Hey! We did it. We absolutely did it. Look at this. This is incredible. Oh my God. Oh, what a journey today. Sometimes it's all too easy. Good night, everybody.